lumber, but on the other hand, they will usually have some time where they will have a lack of lumber, and they won't be able to get all the upgrades and all the tier 2 buildings that they need if they go for just peons on the lumber. So the shredder makes this actually much stronger. And yeah, very good by Rabbit to go back to the expansion and take down the towers that we're building. And pretty bad there to go back with the Wind Rider that was highly damaged. But well, I mean, that sort of thing happens. Now, the one thing that is happening now, it's pretty obvious, I guess, but when you play the game, you don't always realize it, is the fact that Rabbit has pretty much total map control. So what he's doing right now is he's taking good advantage of this map control, in the sense that he's putting up an expo of his own and he's creeping like pretty tough camps, so he can get high levels. nilknarf, on the other hand, he's definitely not in a good spot right now, and so he needs to camp his expo a bit, because he has to try to make an expo, because otherwise he will definitely already have lost at this stage. Sorry, because he lost so much gold trying to put up the expo, the towers, and he lost quite a few lumber peons, so he's not doing too hot. And so his only way, pretty much, of getting out of this trouble spot is to put up an expo of his own. And so he had to camp the towers, because otherwise the wyverns would have just taken him down. And here you see that nilknarf is just following the footsteps of Rabbit's creeping. So that was a pretty good smart creep order that Rabbit did there. That he took down the creeps on, well, that were closest to nilknarf's expansion, because nilknarf is still has lower food. I mean, he's at 45 and Rabbit is at 54. So and he can't really do anything against the Wind Riders yet. So he still has to have the backup of his towers in whenever they have to fight. So that's why right now nilknarf also TP'd out. Because well, I mean, he couldn't really fight this army at this stage. But the bad thing, of course, for nilknarf is that Rabbit's expansion is up, and Rabbit has 900 gold. He has a big shortage of lumber, but well, he's building a war mill in order to alleviate that. So yeah, right now Rabbit really definitely has the advantage. And again, nilknarf trying to go for a creep camp, which has been taken down already by Rabbit. So all this aggressiveness by Rabbit and harassing at tier 1 and taking down the creep camps on the other side of the map actually helped him quite a lot, because he took down pretty much all the creep camps. And the thing is that when a human player makes an expansion, then it's kind of normal that he will be pinned down in his base a bit. And but after he has been pinned down in his base, he will have usually a bigger army, and so he will be able to creep with impunity. But if you creep all the creep camps before, then I mean, you can't. The human player can't really take advantage of his expo, and even though he may have more units than you later, he will still have a lot lower hero levels. So the creeping is pretty good. This also applies to a certain extent to Echo Isles. If your opponent is going, if your opponent is going for an expansion, and you go for the middle creep camps, for example, for the the mercenary, no, the goblin, not the merchant. The thingy at the middle and top. marketplace, exactly, the marketplace. So if you go for the marketplace while your opponent is expanding, you won't have that much of a disadvantage, and it will actually be okay. So scouting with a Wand of Illusion, pretty smart, and so nilknarf right now knows that Rabbit is coming in, but Rabbit directly goes for the Expo. That's pretty risky because he will be between the towers and between nilknarf's army. So you have to be very, very careful when you do that, and watch both sides of your army. And Rabbit does this pretty well. He just goes to the towers and then goes back to the army, and he doesn't lose units needlessly. nilknarf going for Dragonhawk Riders. This is okay, but the thing is, no, this is actually pretty good. But the thing is that Rabbit is gonna try and finish the game before nilknarf has any fair amount of Dragonhawk Riders. And also check his unit mix. I mean, he made 4 wyverns, I think. Yeah. Well, he made more because he lost a few, but he in his unit mix he has 4 wyverns, and then 2-3 raiders, and then 2 spirit walkers, and that's pretty smart because you will be able to handle pretty much any army that he throws at you. Of course, in this game it helped that he had an Expo and that he had the whole advantage and everything, but still, it's still pretty good if you can start off with wyverns, because they work pretty well against against tower rush, and in general against towers, and of course against the first casters as well. And then switch it up to spirit walkers and raiders, so you won't have to, the weak phase. Let's put it this way: you won't have the weak phase that you have when you go for raiders and spirit walkers. Of course, on a bigger map, say for example if you're on Nullwood and you manage to fend a Yuban off for quite a bit, and it really doesn't look likely that he's going to put up towers at tier 2 on your base, then it's not really necessary to go Wind Riders. They're still fine. I mean, they're still kind of useful, but since they cost so much, and since you will have to put up 2 bestiaries instead of bestiary and Spirit Lodge, it's a trade-off. And so when you're further away from your opponent, I wouldn't go for Wind Riders. But on a close spawn, it's definitely helpful. So, I hope you guys liked this dual audio commentary, well, dual replay actually. And this is Frozgard signing out.